Yo, people, welcome back to another episode of the Broken Silence podcast. I'm your host, Hayden, and today on our panel we have
Aretha,
Mr. Fernao,
and also we have a lovely special guest with us today. Introduce yourself.
I'm Wini Boansi.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Okay, today, guys, we have a lot to talk about. So I think we should just get right into it. Yeah.
Come on.
Okay. So the first question. A series of billboards will be displayed up and down the country, depicting images of black women and a man with natural afro textured hair in professional environments. So the question is natural hair really been seen as unprofessional? What's your take on that, guys?
Well, it's a bit of a sticky one.
Well, in short, yes. I'm very much for the billboards. When I actually first saw it on Instagram, and I was like, hell yeah, because I was seeing a lot of women with locks and men with locks like myself. I do feel like there is a stereotype when you're applying for certain roles.
Right.
People kind of see, for example, locks. I don't call it dreadlocks, but people see locks or afro hair or braids or other various natural hairstyles as unprofessional. In my last role, I'm not going to name drop, but there was a day when my colleague, who's black as well, she came in with her, like she had her hair out in like afro kind of waves, of. And I had come in that day and my hair was in a high bun. And this other colleague, she wasn't black, was like, oh, look at you guys and your crazy hairstyles today. Ooh. And me and my black colleague were like, and obviously my other colleague knows how I'm like, so she was like,
all right, yeah.
So yeah, it's little things like that because you experience a lot of microaggressions as well at work.
Right, yeah.
And I also think that stuff like natural hair, especially for black women, is a thing in terms of like experiencing hair anxiety in the workplace. For example, if you came into work one day with braids and then you come in the following day and your natural hair is out, you will be asked 101 questions. Do you know what I'm saying? And
I'm tired.
It's a really uncomfortable
it's real,
experience. So those billboards are needed, and I think it's something that needs to be addressed as well.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with
Do you know what it is? Yeah, I'm just tired of being nice. Like, it's really annoying. Like, okay, get billboards or whatever, but it's like if I come in a bob, okay, and it's a wig, right? And I take it off one day and I've got my hair up like this, like, do the science. It's not hard. You get what I mean? It's not hard. Like, it's really not hard for me. And I never forget, I'm not gonna lie, I'm guilty of this. Like, I remember going to an interview. I had an interview for this job. And I was like, okay, cool. It's either I wear a wig or I have my hair, like my natural hair out. And I did question myself. I was like, rah, I've noticed there was one time I never got a job and I had my natural hair out. And it did kind of move me a bit. I was like, right, is it because I had my natural hair out and like they're not used to having black people in their office why they didn't take me in? Because my interview skills, not to be like boast or anything, but they're tip top. So, and that's the only time where I didn't get the job. And like, it's been times where I've slicked my hair back to not hide the naturalness, but I've just slicked my hair back. That's before I became like, I saw myself, I was like, do you know what? If they don't like me, they don't like me. They ain't give me the job. Do you know what I mean? But I am guilty of doing that. And it's just sad that I have to go to that measure to think of what my hair's going to look like to see if I will get the job. But I'm tired of, like, for example, I'll go to my office and one day, oh my gosh, your hair looks so nice. Did you cut it? And I was like, girl, it's 2019. Like, there's YouTube. Like, go search it up. There's wigs,
There's
you know.
tutorials.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously, it's not going to be black people. It's going to be white people that are going to do it. I just feel like they need to be educated. And I'd still touch on the subject of like natural hair, but even like black women being saying as, oh, you've got too much attitude or whatever, or like, oh my gosh, you're so feisty. And I'm just like, I've never been rude to you once in my life. So it's not just natural hair that we have these problems. Well, black women have these problems. It's just like everything together, like attitude, our natural hair. Do you get what I mean?
I feel like it's kind of all meshed into one, especially if you're somebody that rocks your natural hair. In regards to, you were saying being seen as somebody that has an attitude. I had a issue that kind of escalated in my old workplace where it was reported to one of my managers. Basically, somebody said to my manager that they don't like my aura.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And my manager sat me down. She was white and she was like, you know, Winnie, I know how you're like you're really friendly, you're really bubbly, but you know, somebody has complained that they just don't like you because of your aura. And, you know, you can't, how can you tell somebody that you don't like them because of their aura? But when I looked at the situation, I was the only black woman that sports my natural hair. You know, so how I was being perceived to my other colleague who, let's just say, was wearing wigs and stuff all the time is two completely different things.
Yeah. I've got a question. I'm going to be devil's advocate. So I would just like to ask you guys, especially you two, if there was a case where in the job you notice that they're not really for these type of natural black hairstyles, why can't you adapt to it? Or like, what's the issue in regards to,
you really
these
playing
people,
devil's
these people.
advocate, innit?
No, I'm
Really
really
be
because
playing.
I feel like there's people out there that need to understand like what's going on in terms of that. Do you understand what I mean?
I don't understand, like, adapt to it how?
So adapt to it in
So
terms of like, for example,
take
just
out your locks.
take out your locks or just go straight hair.
And go relax your hair.
And
get
it's not
cancer.
coming from me, but I'm just talking about this.
I'm
This
not
get
gonna
fibroids.
lie.
No,
I'm not gonna lie. And
No, but
you
this
guys
may
have
be-
got me on camera saying this. I would actually remain jobless than to have to
Yeah.
change my hair.
Yeah.
Because I feel like,
yeah.
you know what the thing is, our hair goes much deeper than fashion and all of this. It's actually like our identity.
Yeah.
Let's put it like that.
Yeah.
So if somebody's saying to me that, oh, you know, your hair's unprofessional, do you want to tweak it a little bit, or I won't give you the role unless you do X, Y, Z, I'll say your job as well. That's it, and keep it stepping.
Yeah.
Because other people, for example, let's just say when you have certain Caucasian colleagues that come into work with, I don't know, like green hair, ain't nobody saying to
It's not a
them.
problem,
When
is
your
it?
the
hair
girl
is
that's coming in,
greasy,
right.
ain't no one saying anything.
Exactly, but then the girl that's coming into work with
Like-
braids, she's the one that's getting
The
a good
CEO's
feeling.
hair's greasy, so why don't you
But no, I definitely, I would not. But that's because I've got to a certain level mentally where I just don't give a
Yeah.
But I can see why somebody else would crumble, because
Yeah.
in a way it's like we've been socially conditioned to feel some type of way about our hair.
Yeah.
You know,
But I feel here's what needs to happen. A lot of the time when I go to like work or whatever, they'll have like business meetings or they'll have like meetings where talking about make sure your confidentiality and you don't tell the business like press anything or whatever. And these meetings happen a lot and they educate us on different type of things like the new system that we're getting at work or whatever. So I feel what needs to come into place is little things like this when it comes to like unprofessional hair or natural hair and things that they need to stop saying and just teaching people, because they're not going to know. They're not going to know that what they're saying is really like what that woman said to you, oh, with your crazy hairstyles, like, okay. But they're not going to know. They've probably been brought up in Exeter where there's no black people around and they don't get it. Do you get what I mean? They think they touch something in the socket and their hair's gone up. Like, they don't get it.
You know what? Like,
do you get what I mean? So they need to be taught this.
I do hear what you're saying, and you know what? To some degree, I do think,
and they need to educate themselves as well.
They need to educate them first, number one, and also not even just that, but sometimes we also need to differentiate if somebody genuinely doesn't know about our hair or if somebody is taking the piss. Because
I can tell.
some non-black people will ask you about your hair, but it's like they generally want to know more. They want to try and understand why is it that you can do different styles. And then you've obviously got the people that just take the piss. So I feel like sometimes because we've experienced a lot of them taking a piss, we kind of shut down the conversation. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah.
And also as well, like I've had an experience, matter of fact, where I was basically at work on the tills, and this is my old job, and basically I came in with a new hairstyle. So do you know where you had the sponges back in, when the sponge things was a proper thing? So basically I was sitting at the till, and then basically there was this Italian guy that just came to my till, but he was my work colleague. So he was like, "Oh my God!" I was like, "What?" I was confused. I was looking around like, what's going on? He's like, oh my God, look at your hair. I'm like, what's wrong with my hair? He's like, oh, can I feel it? I'm just like, why do you want to feel my hair? And then I was like, what's wrong? Oh, because I got a sponge. He's like, oh, no, let me feel it. I'm just like, what's the whole big what's the big deal? Like, I got a sponge, like, that's it. Like, it's not that deep, you know what I mean?
I live in Essex, innit? So I had a job kind of like deep in Essex, and I was literally the only black guy in the office. And I remember like the girls that were like, and normally I used to have like my hair quite a bit, and like in winter just to stop my head getting cold. And then they'll just come randomly, even like without asking, and start touching my hair. And I'm like, what are you doing? And like, oh my gosh, it feels like a carpet. Oh man, it's so soft, and it feels like a carpet. I'm thinking,
do you know what? Sometimes I just gotta laugh it off now.
That's true.
Because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it.
Rude.
But do you know, I remember like, oh sorry.
And then I was like, I know you're curious in that, but one, you didn't even ask me permission to do that in the first place.
Yeah.
And like, even people I know, I wouldn't let touch my hair like that. So what gives you the audacity to do that? So it's like,
these people are brave, you know. How can you just be touching somebody's hair without asking? Is it
That's
okay
what
if
they do. I'm confused about it all, to be fair.
But the thing is like, one thing I've noticed as well with like my hair at workplace is like, my hair is quite soft. So when I like brush it up or whatever, and I do my little baby hairs or whatever, they're like, oh my gosh, what do you have in you? You can't be fully black. And for me,
I really hate that.
That quote is worse to me than can I touch your hair? Because for me, it's like, what? So you don't understand that black people have different types of textures of their hair. I have 4C, 3C hair. You don't understand it. But for you to tell me, oh, do you have Indian in you, or do you have this in you? Absolutely not. But I don't have Indian in me, and that's when I educate them, and I tell them, listen, there's different textures of black hair, all right? And actually, that's an offense to tell someone, oh, you mixed with Indian, to see just because my baby hairs may be slicked or whatever. Do you get what I mean?
100% get what you're saying.
That's just rude to me. That's worse than touching my head.
For me, you know what? It actually annoys me more because I get those comments from black people, you know?
Really?
Yeah, I've got locks,
It was a black
and
person.
people
It
will
was a
come
black
up
person.
to me and like check out my baby hairs and be like, oh, you got good hair. Like, what? Or like, where you from? You part Indian? And I'm like, no, I'm not. What is good hair? I've got locks. So the fact that you've gone out of your way to really pre my hair texture and come to the conclusion that I have good hair.
But it's because in the black community, it's been known and taught, like, if you've got, you know, little baby hairs and like you've got a different texture of hair, it's been seen no, but it's seen as better than having 4C hair. From when we was young, we was taught, like, when people are coming, like, you know, little aunties there, you know, doing up your hair and that, and they're coming, oh Lord Jesus, yeah, tough man, it's tough. And it's like those little things are kind of being taught to you when you're young. So when you get older and like you hear someone, if someone with like 4C hair has been told, right, your hair's nice, like, do you've got mixed Indian in you? They're gonna be like, oh yeah, I do. No, darling, you don't. Okay, you're excited. You don't have 4C hair. I mean, you don't have like Indian in you. Love your 4C hair, but it starts with our community. Whenever our community dampens us down, then the different other people like that are not black, they're able to kind of bring it up and feel bright and brazen to come talk like they understand.
There's a lot of unlearning to do within our own community, to be honest.
Before things are taught.
That's it. That's
you know
exactly it. Because some people will be told that comment and they will feel, I have got curly hair, and then they kind of egg on that kind of stereotype. Do you get what I'm saying?
I definitely agree with you.
I think taking on that point, can we kind of extend that a little bit to kind of like standards at work? So, you know, certain workplaces have a certain kind of standard, or maybe like you have to wear this certain uniform, or you have to look this certain way to you know, to work in a certain role. Can we extend that to, you know, to like different standards in different workplaces? Or can we just say, okay, generally, can we apply the same rule to every workplace you ever go to? Or do we understand that in certain roles or in certain jobs, you can't wear your hair out like you want to, because that's the standard of that workplace. Everyone's not allowed to wear their hair out. So do we know?
I think that's way too many rules.
I don't get that.
I don't understand that.
I don't understand that because, for example, a Caucasian girl can wear her hair out. A black girl with 4C afro hair, or kinky hair, I should say, wears her hair out, and then it's an issue for the black girl to have her hair out, but the Caucasian girl can have her hair out.
So that alone, everyone has to pull their hair back.
So that alone wouldn't work anyway.
Yeah, that's still
I
kind
think
of putting us
the general
down.
standard only works when it comes to stuff like uniform and your kind of general, like, what you should wear, maybe per se. But in terms of
extend to like hair, or
no, I don't think it should.
Only if it's like catering though, like you can just
but catering's different. Everybody's got to cover their hair and stuff like that in catering.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to ask you, Winnie, because you have locks, you don't call it dreadlocks, you call it locks.
Yeah.
So why do you not call it?
Because there's nothing dreadful about my hair. That's
why.
That's it.
Wow, that's nice.
But the word dreadlocks has come from Caucasian people.
Yeah, that's
what they
it.
call
So
it.
I don't pay them any mind. Like when people are like dreadlocks, I'm just like, I mean, if you want to call it dreadlocks, by all means, feel free. But I personally just don't refer, to my hair as that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you correct people when they say, "Oh, I love your dreadlocks"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I
And
will
what's their
do,
reactions?
Yeah.
what's the difference? And then I will briefly explain to them. And then what you choose to do with your information is your business. Yeah, basically.
Take it or leave
That's
it,
where I'm
basically,
at.
innit?
Yeah, that's it, really.
Do you know what? I've seen a common thing with locks? I know I'm kind of moving from the subject, but like my sister's got locks, and obviously faux locks are really in right now.
Yeah.
And do you get people asking, "Oh, are they your real locks? Are those faux
All
locks?"
the time.
Really?
I had a
It
woman
must
come
be
up to me
so
the other day and
annoying.
ask me how much I got my hair done for, and I didn't clock until she was going on for a while, and I was like, no, this is my real hair. This is even, I recently cut my locks, so it's quite long before. So when she saw me, she was like, where did you get your locks done? So I was thinking as in like retwisted, and she was going, and I was like, no, this is my real hair. And she was like, oh, it looks so fake. And I was like, okay, well, it's not.
You
You know them ones where you're like,
comfortable to say it like that as well. To that degree, it's mad.
And I've heard
It's
someone say
crazy.
to my sister, "Oh, bro, like your locks can grow that long." Girl,
yeah, it's mad. Honestly,
No,
it's
it's
crazy.
feisty.
It's crazy.
But yeah, I'm just tired of workplaces kind of putting so much energy into other things and these type of things. I've never personally seen the billboards. Have you?
I've just seen it via social media, you know. That's it. I haven't
You've
seen
seen
it
it via
since I've been
social
out of work.
media.
Yeah,
but
just
you've
via
never
social
seen
media.
it up.
No, I've never seen it out and
I'm gonna
about.
question if it's really up.
Oh, is it actually up?
Is it up or not? 'Cause I've never
I thought it
seen
was
it.
yet to be put out. I didn't realize it's actually out.
I don't know, but I'm thinking like
because there was also little videos and stuff that I saw on Instagram.
because when you go America, you see it.
Yeah,
and when you
America,
go
they
like
always promote
black
stuff like
countries,
that.
you see
Yeah.
it. Like
Yeah.
Jamaica, when I go to Jamaica, I always see like natural hair.
Yeah.
Well, it's a black country, innit?
Yeah.
But over here, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
I think
Never.
another question in regards to that is, how do we know when we're getting discriminated at because of our hair? Especially like if you're going for an interview, for instance, how do you know that they're discriminating because of what your hair looks like and not because they just think, I don't like you, or you're not gonna fit in here?
I just found it funny that the only job I never got was when I had my natural hair out.
Oh wow.
That's the question answered, really.
That's just
Yeah.
my theory.
But I think we also need to be careful because some people can, obviously that it's a valid thing about the hair and being accepting, but we also need to be careful that people often see certain things like this and run with it.
Yeah.
Like you could just be crap at interviews, or
Yeah,
you could not
that
be
is
good enough at
true.
your jobs, and you're
That
like, oh,
is-
it's because I'm black, it's because my hair is
Yeah, I think that's a
out,
lot of people.
that's
why they
didn't give it to me.
They're
So
not really good.
we
at
need to
what
be a
they
bit
do.
Yeah,
careful
yeah,
and say,
yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
cool. If you've
It's
done
true.
everything right
Yeah.
and they didn't give you a job, then okay, cool. Look at the reasons why.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
you also need to check yourself sometimes as well and just be like, first try and think about, okay, what is the main reason why maybe I didn't get this job? If you tick all the boxes and you still don't get it, okay, cool, then look at the
Well, that was
sub-reasons
me.
as
Yeah.
well.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm just worried that some people might decide to just
I do
use
hear what you're
certain-
saying.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I do agree with what you're saying because I mean, it's very easy to kind of use things like that as an excuse.
Yeah.
At the same time, when you see, and I've noticed that BBC as well do tend to cover stories like this, where, for example, a black girl with, let's just say, braids will go for an interview, and the manager will call up and be like, "Oh, you know, I'm just calling to congratulate you, but before we can actually put you through to the role, could you just change your hair?" Like you see, you often see, I see those stories come up
That's
on my
a prime
timeline
example
all
there,
the
yeah,
time. Yeah.
Wow.
So it is being discriminated because of your hair actually is a thing. For a manager to call you up and be like, "Oh yeah, you've got the role, but could you just take out your
Yeah.
braids?"
The funny
You are
story
mad.
that as well.
That's what.
Because I remember I heard, I think I can't remember who it was. They were talking about how they had a phone interview and they were like, "Yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you. Yeah, so you can come in for training on this day." So I think they passed that part of, so you've got the job. So they just want to go in for an interview. So they went in for an interview and I think the manager looked at them like, "Oh." And she was like, "What's the problem?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, are you sure this is the right place you're coming to? Like, are you sure it's not?" Yeah. So
What did
they're
she
like,
sound
Marlo.
Right.
Caucasian?
Yeah. So I think that was the reason why. But it's just like,
that's a
you
whole
know,
nother story.
it's
there.
crazy.
But I'm-
It's crazy.
You know what?
how-
So are you guys
Something-
surprised though?
Something like
Yeah.
that's happened to me before some years ago when I was like looking for a job and I must have applied. I don't know. You know, these random recruiter people
Yeah,
get back to
Indeed.com
you like, oh, you know,
UK,
could you
shout
come
out.
in the following day so that we can have a meeting or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think the recruiter must have saw my first name in it and just overlooked the African surname in
Oh,
it.
right, yeah.
So I've
yeah.
come through now and I'm waiting, and then this white woman comes through and then she's like looking around. I'm thinking, what is she looking at?
Yeah.
And she's like, are you? Then she said my full first name, which I'm not gonna say, and I was like, yeah. I saw her face drop. And you know what? Yeah, me and her, we sat down, we had like a 10-15 minute chat. She was like, yeah, I'll get back to you. To this day, this was probably about maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
You're
To
joking
To this
me.
day, never
You
heard
haven't
back.
heard
But do you
back
think
from
that's
her?
because of because you're black?
I just think it's because I was black, period. I don't think she was expecting to see a black person.
Is your
Because my first name is very
English?
old school English name. Yeah. Yeah. So I think for whatever reason, she must have somehow overlooked the surname and just seen the first name.
She's like,
That's
when
what
you
I
ask
She
your
think.
might
man
just
to
thought,
take
oh,
out-
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Like some-
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Because
Damn.
I think, yeah, as well, I think in terms of like the way how people are really like seeing black people's hair as like, right, it doesn't really look that nice. It's just like, I really feel that it puts kind of, as you said earlier, hair anxiety. I feel like it causes a lot of us to have anxiety because
Yeah.
I remember when I was on the train one time and I had twists
Mm-hmm.
and I was kind of like, I was just minding my business on the train, listening to my music.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember there was this couple next to me just looking at my hair. And I was so confused and I was just like, why are these people like looking
But
at
let
my
me
hair
tell you,
like
let
this?
me tell you what
Pure ignorance,
infuriates me about the whole thing about black hair. Yeah, is it's crazy when it's on us, but when a Caucasian person
Wants
mimics
fashion.
our hairstyle, then all of a sudden it's
Listen.
trendy.
All of a
and
sudden-
it's
I'm
fashion.
laughing out of my workplace.
Yeah.
but
All of a
bare people
sudden,
look
Kim
like- you know what I
Kardashian
mean? Bare them
created
do it.
braids.
It's annoying.
Right,
It's
exactly.
annoying.
That's a perfect example. Kim K creating braids.
But I've got a little thing with that though, because when Kim K wore her, what braids was it? Was it just all black?
Is it the one that she called
It
Bo
wasn't
Derek
all back.
braids or whatever?
Oh,
you
but
talk about
I
one?
ain't even gonna go into that one, 'cause,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying. But she wore a hairstyle.
Mm-hmm.
It was a braiding hairstyle. She wore it, and all of a sudden, I don't, correct me if I'm wrong. All of a sudden, I saw black girls wearing it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, braids have been out from time since Brandy. Like, you know,
Yeah.
she used to wear her small braids or
Yeah,
whatever. I
yeah,
used to love
yeah,
braids or
yeah.
whatever. But it was funny when Kim K wore it. It
became
seemed
popular.
trendy.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm tired. I'm tired of, you know, and then it was being called Kim Kardashian braids. Goodbye. Like, it was embarrassing.
But I wanna ask, do you blame her or do you blame?
Of course I
the-
blame
the
her.
people? Why do you blame
No.
her?
I blame her. She knows what she's doing.
No.
I
I don't blame her
I
at
don't blame her
all.
for that.
I just think that a lot of the young people nowadays are very uneducated
Yeah,
in regards to a lot of
impressionable as
things. They're very impressionable,
And
and the
guess
people
what?
that they
Kim
look
K
up
knows
to,
that.
right there you go. But if she knows that and she's kind of benefiting or making money off of it, can you really blame her?
Yes, I can blame her.
Why?
So
Yes,
she's-
I can blame her.
I feel
because
like we're kind of
I'm
singling
so-
her out per se. By the way,
Yeah.
I don't care
I'm
about
not-
Kim K. Like, I don't like her.
care.
And I don't not like her.
I don't
Yeah.
follow.
But
yeah,
Just
none
make-
of
I
that.
just feel
I'm
like
just saying that.
I
Yeah.
don't personally think like people like that are doing it on purpose because like, oh, this was cool before. I
Kim
should do it now so I
Kardashian
can capture
knows.
black people. You know.
Kim
so-
Kardashian knows that Black Twitter is going to start an uproar and are going to speak about her name.
Right.
Then people, her name's going to become trending.
Right.
And she's topic of
Okay,
the day,
great.
right?
Can I stop you right there?
And she knows
What did you
this.
say at the beginning? Black Twitter gives
Yeah.
her attention.
Exactly.
You get it?
Yeah,
But
if
she
Black
knows Black Twitter,
Black
right? But
Twitter
she
if
Twitter
knows
Black
owns
Black
it.
Twitter decided
Yeah.
to ignore all the
Exactly
people wouldn't
that.
be doing this. Simple.
But she knows Black Twitter are going to
Uh-huh.
react, all right?
Right.
So what I'm saying is now, let's switch it and say Black Twitter, when we see certain things like this, you can tell that people are going to try and get a reaction. Let's stop giving them
Yeah.
reactions.
Yeah, I agree with
Do you
that.
get it?
I agree with
So
that.
that's what I'm saying. Like, Kim
agree
K
with that.
knows what she's doing when she starts doing something. Don't worry. She's going to probably do something in a minute, like
I hear
soon,
what you're saying.
couple of months. She's going to do something knowing that Black Twitter is going to start. Then Black Twitter are going to start, get her name trending. But that's how people...
But you know,
Yeah.
she's not the only person.
Everyone does it.
There's a lot of
But
people
just-
that do
Everyone
that.
does it.
Just-
When a new album's coming out,
Yeah,
they start
but
doing some
like-
mad...
Mad
Yeah.
things,
Going
innit?
like
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah,
going
yeah,
back
so-
to that whole thing though, I mean, again, for example, I'm kind of taking it back a bit, but is it Zendaya? What's her name?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Right,
yeah,
I probably
yeah.
pronounced it wrong, but yeah, when she wore her, false locks or whatever. There was a big hoo-ha about it. People were trying to get onto it and all of this rubbish. But then one of these fashion designers, I can't remember who, then had Caucasian models sporting locks. And then, this is so edgy. This is trendy. Do you get what I'm saying? It's a reoccurring theme.
They've been doing it.
Yeah, they've been doing it for time.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's the first time I heard that, so I'm kind of shocked about that.
Remember, we had H&M was supposed to be cancelled.
This is it.
You can't cancelling people.
They always get pissed.
Can I ask a question? Who's been cancelled and it's been successful?
That's what I'm saying.
You can't successfully cancel anybody.
Everyone's been cancelled.
I cancel. I cancel.
Everyone's been.
I
What's
cancel
the
in
name
my
of the
because
one they tried to cancel?
What?
Was it what's that?
Gucci was meant to be
Gucci
cancelled.
was meant to be
But people are
cancelled.
still buying Gucci like it's nothing.
I beg.
do you know I don't have that type of money to be talking about Gucci right now.
We have to realize
But
if you don't have,
Can't reach that limit. But still, you know what I mean?
But I will still cancel you.
Nah,
But do you know what? Cancel, I don't know.
Yeah, but
it's just
that's
a word. It's
that's
a word. If you don't have
Yourself
money,
is
if you don't have power, cancelling means nothing.
Yeah.
Literally.
That
Whoa.
word itself is long.
Whoa.
That word itself is long.
No,
Being
I don't
cancelled
believe.
is long.
Do you
You
know
can
what? I
cancel,
cancel for a reason, but I'm not cancelling to shout out to everyone. Oh, I'm cancelling this. I'm cancelling for my own energy and
Yeah.
for my own vibe. Like if I don't respect that, if I don't respect for example, if I don't respect someone, a friend, I'm cancelling you and you're out of my life.
Oh yeah, but that's a different
get it?
scenario. I was more so talking about in terms of
brands and
celebrity
stuff.
and
Yeah.
brands and stuff like that. I feel like on Twitter, she's cancelled, he's cancelled. But
Do you know what?
all these
People
people
who
that
are
are being
genuinely-
cancelled are still being successful by the
being
minute.
monetized.
Yeah.
I get that, but I feel like
Look at R. Kelly's a very good example.
Yeah.
He's
do you
cancelled.
think,
He's
do you
cancelled.
think
he's
R.
cancelled.
Kelly's cancelled?
Hell no.
Everyone said they
Hell no.
cancelled
But do you
him,
think R.
apparently.
Kelly's
He's more.
cancelled?
Nah.
I'm not gonna lie, he's
cancelled.
cancelled up to a certain
cancelled up to a
extent.
certain
Yeah.
He
That
is
means
cancelled
that
up to a
person's
certain
not
extent. Let's be
People are
cancelled
still.
Yeah.
I went to a wedding and R. Kelly nearly got dropped on the DJ.
Listen.
Everyone was like,
I've still
You're
heard,
talking
everyone was like, Step in the
There
Name
was
of
a- yeah,
Love
like,
nearly
You're talking
came
about
on.
nearly got dropped.
And everyone,
I've still
You're
heard R.
talking
Kelly
about
songs,
nearly
man,
got dropped
in parties.
at my workplace. They still play his songs.
Wow.
They still play his songs.
and that's where it means the most. At black weddings, ain't no one at a black wedding. Do you know what I mean? But then there's shoppers in a shop, like shopping mall, and it's being played, and people are listening.
and they were playing what's the song? Bump and Grind. I was like,
Wow.
Did they know what she like?
listen, that's what I was thinking to myself, and that was a couple of days after I watched it.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
peak.
I do think R. Kelly is cancelled up to a certain,
certain
extent.
extent,
There
yeah,
is,
but people are still playing his
there is.
music,
But
yeah.
people, I
People
don't
are
know
still-
about
yeah,
them type of
yeah,
people.
yeah, I
There, they
don't play
got to
his
be
music no
questioned
more,
because it
'cause it's a
sounds
bit
like they're
mad.
supporting things.
I'm done. Yep. So, I
As
feel
a
like,
black
yeah.
guy, have you ever suffered with depression? And if you have, how have you dealt with it?
I think for me personally, I have a slightly kind of different train of thought, I guess. Maybe due to my upbringing. I don't personally believe I've suffered from depression.
RSK, let it play, boy.